Hello, fellow nerds. Welcome to my fourth video. It's been a while since I've done this. I've done this now 3 times, and each time I haven't really been happy with the end product. So now it's fourth time, and I believe fourth time is the charm. We'll see. Yeah, like I mentioned, it's been a while since I've done these. I've been away traveling. This would be a perfect spot to plug my traveling channel, but I'm just not gonna do that. If you're interested, you're gonna have to ask. But without further ado, let's get on with this video. Today I'm gonna show you how to run Immich in a K3s cluster. Immich is your own photo video backup solution. And with the perfect segue here, I can tell you about the 3-2-1 rule. In essence, it means that you should have 3 copies of your important data, such as images on your phone, videos, and one of them should exist in an offline location, such as self-hosted Immich. 8 steps here. Number 1, I've already done. Currently, we have nothing in the Immich namespace, but before we start adding resources in this namespace, we're going to go ahead and look at the documentation. Here, immich.app, go ahead and click docs. There are a bunch of different ways, such as Docker Compose, which is the recommended way, but that would be too easy for us. So I'm going to go ahead and click that Kubernetes and followed by this link to the official Helm chart. Here we have some more documentation, Helm chart installation command. But before we go ahead and copy paste that into a Raspberry Pi or whatever device you're using, there are some prerequisites, such as a separate PersistentVolumeClaim and a couple different database instances. First, we're going to go ahead and create this PersistentVolumeClaim. This persistent volume will be crucial because all the data that you feed into your Immich instance, such as photos, videos, will be stored in this persistent volume. But there are a few different YAMLs I have here. I'm gonna walk them through, do not worry. I'm gonna start with this persistent volume. Nothing special about this, really simple, 30 gigabytes of persistent volume. If you're using K3s like I am, local path is very simple. It'll just allocate some storage from the Raspberry Pi's SSD or whatever device the K3s is running on. We can go ahead and apply this. Here we go. The third step is to deploy Postgres database. So the Postgres instance has to be deployed with a suitable Postgres instance image that has vector code extension. There is an example manifest here, which I just copy pasted and I'm using. And it's this one. It requires its own storage, 1 gigabyte, uses this cloud native vector code image, and my friend ChatGPT tried to help me understand why we can't just use the default Postgres image. Immich uses advanced vector search for features like face recognition and semantic search. Because of that, it requires PostgreSQL extensions that are not included in the default Postgres image. So there we have it. Then there are some other like initiation commands, bootstrapping. We can go ahead and apply this. What do we have currently? So now we have the database running. That means we can move on to step 4 and verify that these database secrets exist. This one is important as it will be referenced in the values.yaml file that the Helm chart installation command uses. In the documentation, you have two different values.yaml file options. The one with more options, I think these are all the configurations that you can change. But then there's this other one, which I am using, much more simple and minimalistic. Here we have it. So the image, this will be the main Immich server container 2.00. And this release marks the first stable Immich release, which is why I decided to use it. Here we'll add the environment variables, and it will reference that secret that I just showed you, which was created with the Postgres database instance. In the second step, we created this Immich library PersistentVolumeClaim. It will be referenced here, and this is where all photos, videos stored in Immich will live. So this PersistentVolumeClaim is crucial. Do not skip this step. Then in the documentation, there's a mention that Immich has access to a Redis. I have to be honest, I did not fully understand what this was, but I guess it just ensures that the Immich instance server runs as smooth as possible with all the caching, background jobs, queue processing. Okay, then I guess we can move on to step 5. Copy paste this Helm command here. Here we go. All right, Helm chart install completed. Let's see what we have. Now we have the server running. We can access the Immich server only within the cluster currently. This is why I've added step 6, create Ingress. That's why we have this Ingress resource here. A few things about this Ingress resource. I have cert-manager installed in my K3s cluster. I have a video on my channel about that in case you're interested. But if you're not, you can just go ahead and remove these lines. K3s default Ingress controller traffic. I'm gonna use nib.io DNS name because that allows the mapping without editing any etc host files. Make sure to link the correct service name, Immich server, which will open the port 2238, and then the certificate. We can go ahead and apply this. Here we have it. It's accessible. I guess then we can go ahead and move on to step number 8, demo. When you first open your fresh created Immich, this is what you will be welcomed with. Getting started. Go ahead and fill those up. Wonder if I should block my email. Make a little box there. Huh. I don't think anybody will be spamming me or trying to steal my identity, are you? All right, Raspberry login. Here we go. Dark, English, map, version check. Okay, I don't know. Privacy. I might do some Google casting. Storage template. I haven't had the time to read on this yet, so I'll just skip it. Yeah, I may have gotten the idea of 3-2-1 backup strategy from here, but okay. Right now, fully empty. This is how I'm gonna be using this. I'm gonna have to take the camera here. I'm gonna be using this with my trusted iPhone. And as long as you have downloaded Immich from App Store or Google Play Store, you should be able to access your Immich instance. Here we go. Make sure the URL matches. Next. All right, it's all empty now. We can go ahead and click this little cloud icon here. Here we can select the albums from my phone, which I want to be backed up. Just gonna choose something with not many pictures. Okay, hair album has 7. Hair album is now included in the backed up albums. We can go ahead and enable backup. And as you can see in real time, it's pushing them into the server, and the front end will show us all the backed up items. Wonderful. If you're wondering, these are pictures. When I had a nice haircut from a barber, I just wanted to remember it and perhaps in the future show them more easily. This is what I want. Yeah, nowadays I cut my own hair. You might be able to see it, especially if you saw the back of my head, but you're not going to see that right now. All right, there's still one thing that I need to show you, and that is, what if I get hit by a lightning and electricity goes boom? Will all my images go poof, disappear? What if my apartment burns down and my Raspberry Pi burns down? In that case, the data actually will be destroyed if the Pi burns. But if the first disaster were to happen, where a lightning strikes and Raspberry Pi shuts down and Immich server goes down, will the data persist? That is the question. Now let's try to mimic that by rebooting our Raspberry Pi. And now, as you can see, Immich is inaccessible as the server is offline for unknown reasons, lightning, fire. Wonder how loud my voice is. Okay, Raspberry Pi just turned back on. About 30 seconds and we'll be able to access it. I think I might be able to access Pi right now. Yeah. Okay, our stuff is turning on. Oh, yeah, they're not ready. Okay, now everything is running. And here we have it. My wonderful hair pictures are still accessible. That's it. Now you know how to run your own backup server. And remember the 3, 2, 1 rule. Remember, this number 1 needs to be offline. I think that was kind of rude, giving you the finger. You're watching my videos after all. Well, if this turns out to be my last video, let's cherish this moment of me giving you the finger. And if it wasn't, I will welcome you to watch my future videos as well. I promise I will be better and will not flip you. Okay, now I'm gonna have to go do something completely other than this. Let's look at the back here. Ooh.